looks worse than it is.
Welcome everyone, it's Wednesday, February 16th, 2022, it's 5 p.m., almost 10 after 5 p.m. This is a Jamestown Local Development Corporation meeting. Just to note, we do have two individuals on Zoom with us today, Tim Smeal and Peggy in there.
Yep.
Can you guys hear us okay?
Yep.
Thumbs up, okay. All right. Welcome everyone. We've got several items that we just need to start to accomplish before as the first meeting of the year. Are we just going to go through this, or do we want to elect officers first?
We can go through it and then elect officers at whatever point, I guess.
Okay.
I don't even
get it over with.
Yeah,
Go
let's
through
get
it.
it done.
All right, so
Talk
we only
through it.
elect for those that are new, we only elect the treasurer and the secretary. The president and the vice president are automatically placed by their virtue of their office. So do we have a motion for a treasurer? Anyone be the treasurer? Vicki? You're a phenomenal treasurer, really.
I do like that.
Appreciate it. Okay, we've got a motion for Vicki McGraw as the treasurer. Any other motions? All right, well, we only have hearing one. We'll move to vote. All those in favor of Vicki McGraw as treasurer?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, do we have a motion for secretary? Do we have one on here? Someone motioning? No.
He's moving, maybe that's some.
Peggy, maybe you? Peggy? You interested?
I think she's working like 2 or 3 positions
thumbs
at
down,
her
yeah.
business right now. I can promise you that Jura will handle everything. That helps.
How about Kim?
She was gonna.
Whatever you need.
She was gonna say,
I got the best seat.
Yeah, exactly.
One motion for Kim. Kim? Any thoughts? Yes? No?
That's fine.
Okay.
Move forward.
Any other nominations?
To get over with.
Hearing none. All those in favor of Kim Eklund for secretary? Any opposed? Okay, sounds good. Next item of business, the designation is Crystal Surdick as the executive director of the Jamestown Local Development Corporation. So moved by Tony. Second by Luke. All those in favor? Any opposed? Right. We now have a yearly agreement with the Jamestown Urban Renewal Agency between Jura and the Jamestown Local Development Corporation in the amount of $140,000 for calendar year 2022, which includes staffing and programmatic needs. So moved. Do we have a second? Second. Any questions, comments? This is a yearly agreement. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, moving on. With the designation of Key Bank and Adams Bank as the depositories for the Jamestown Local Development Corporation. So moved. So moved. Second?
Aye.
Second, Madam Secretary. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, we have the authorization of the mayor and president and the city finance director, city comptroller, to serve as signatories on all JLDC financial accounts, and authorizing Crystal Surdick and John Selstrom to make transfers for the Jamestown Local Development Corporation. So bank signature cards. So moved by Kim, second by Tony. All those in favor? Any opposed? All right, moving on. We have a resolution appointing Benjamin Haskin, Esquire, to the city of Jamestown as legal counsel for JLDC. Welcome.
So moved.
So moved, second? Second. All those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. The acknowledgement of fiduciary duties and responsibilities, there's no resolution, I believe, on this one. I think there's, you need to fill out the statement, interest statement, whistleblower policy, which is also 6 and 7, as well as 8. So,
And I will take all of those after you have signed. If you guys can just email them to me or drop them off. That picture works too if you don't have a scan.
okay. Sounds good. We're designating a monthly placeholder meeting date.
Yeah, do we wanna talk about that? Is 5 o'clock on this Wednesday of the month, do we wanna stick with it, or do we wanna push it to like 5:15? 5:30? Would that be helpful?
5:30 is easier, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm thinking
It's easier for me, but it don't make it on my account. What's the consensus?
It'd be harder for me.
Harder
hard
for you?
Yeah, it's like a 6:30 meeting monthly on the third.
Okay,
And if you wanna do it at 15, so you're not waiting for me all the time?
does that work? Peggy, I know that it'll probably change, right? So we'll go with 5:15 and then, oh,
She's dropping.
okay.
I guess that's a no.
Yeah, she's not.
I'm out.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll just push it to 5:15 and
Yeah.
we'll make that official
Just
starting
make sure
the
that
next one.
People
Okay.
have a chance to be here.
Coming back.
Yeah. I think she disconnected herself.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's joining us. She's there. Okay.
I'm back! It doesn't matter to me. It's all gonna not work great for me, but I'll make it work.
Okay, we pushed it to 5:15, starting with the
That's fine.
next meeting.
That's fine.
Okay,
All right.
annual stuff is taken care of.
That's good. Great job, guys. Approval of the meeting minutes from November 17th, 2021 board meeting. Are those circulated with the
Yep.
packet? Do we have a motion to approve minutes?
So,
Second? Second. All in favor? Any opposed?
I think the only thing I would say, I think you're missing the absent. I don't know if you need that on there. Usually you have it not present.
I will make sure that gets added.
Okay, we have one correction, which is adding of absent, individuals
Yep.
absent.
And I think on that one, we also had a couple that zoomed, so.
Yep.
just for the record, yeah.
Yeah, you had just Pete. He was the one that was in when you have it.
Okay. We'll make that correction.
Implementation. Consideration of the financial reports through end of 2021. John?
We did all right this year, pretty good. With the interest-only payments, of course, we didn't get as much interest income as a result. Other than that, the year went pretty normal, and we're starting the off. Yeehaw. And there's one correction for the January financials. At the very top, it should be 2022, and not 2021 is the only edit, but all the other information is correct and as of January 22.
I told him not to reprint.
I could of course reprint.
So why don't we approve the financials for 2021, and then we can hold off on the January ones until the next meeting, and February we'll do it together. Does that sound good? Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the financial reports through end of 2021? So moved by Tony, second. Second by Vicky. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And we're gonna hold off on any of the financial reports until the next meeting.
They'll be 2022 next time.
So we're basically tabling it.
It's the
We're
exact,
gonna table it, yeah.
all the information will stay the same other than the date, so.
All right, revisions of the administrative plan for the Fun for Downtown program. Crystal?
So we talked about some of the things that we wanted to change, or that we might want to change. I don't know, everyone had an opportunity to look through it. There's not a whole lot, in looking through it, it really is, it's a solid administrative plan. I guess questions might be, target area. We talked about, do we wanna keep it within that downtown DRI designated area? Do we wanna expand it at all? Do we wanna give it any flexibility? So, I think that's up for some discussion.
The target area currently is just downtown and Riverwalk, right?
Yep, so there's a map on page 3 of your packet.
But the intention of this is to draw business and events
Yep.
downtown, so I don't know why you would alter that.
It was brought up at a previous meeting, so.
I guess, I
added
don't
it
know
on
who
there
brought it
for
up, so
discussion.
I'm asking why they brought it up, I guess. Do we know? I don't remember. who
I don't
brought it
either.
up. I don't recall.
Okay,
I mean, if if that's the intention of the programming is to generate traffic downtown, then
I think it
the
is.
event should take place in that footprint.
I don't disagree, but it's not for me to decide.
I have no problem with the footprint.
Sounds
logical.
Yep, I agree.
And that doesn't preclude a business from having an event that's, the business is not downtown, they just have
Right,
to
they just have to
host
have it
the
down.
event in
Yep.
the area.
Yep.
So, you're not excluding anybody.
Everybody good with that? Okay. Let's see. Other things were just kind of minor, words just updating because things have changed a little bit since this was initially written.
The only thing I'm gonna ask for clarification on, not very concise, the program committee will meet within a reasonable period of time. What is a reasonable
Yeah.
period of time?
So, we initially had within 2 weeks. We have tried to meet actually even quicker than that. And so, I mean, I guess we can say within 2 weeks, but.
Even if you said 10 business days or 15 business days, that gives you 3 weeks.
From the time,
A
yeah.
reasonable period of time?
Yeah,
doesn't
too
look good.
subjective.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. So if you wanted to extend it beyond 2 weeks, I would suggest using business days as your parameter.
Mhm.
And if you went 15 business days, that gives you technically 3 weeks. If you want 10
Okay.
business days, it gives you 2.5,
Right,
or 15, whatever you choose.
okay.
It's probably a much cleaner way to do it.
Mhm.
I would agree.
I like the verbiage of business days better anyway.
That way, if it's a holiday, you're not locked in trying to meet everybody's schedule.
Yeah, and I think that we've kind of come across that, as we're trying to cram something in and, yeah, people are on
Holidays would-
vacations. and
Holidays
people
would
are-
be excluded from that
Yeah,
business. day.
right. Yeah. Okay, is everyone okay with that, if we change the language to 10 business days? Let's see. Page 6, I just moved this, the paragraph in red about ongoing technical assistance from one section to this section. Because most of this, section that had been here was written before the program ever rolled out. And so it was all a brand new program, and it's not relevant anymore. But I didn't wanna get rid of that, section about ongoing technical assistance, because that will remain. Answer the target area question. Okay, page 8. There had been question about repeat of previous events that had occurred. Do we want to keep that, so we're never, funding an event that has, I'm trying to think of one that is, an example.
Like County Fest, for instance.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Not to pick on you,
Right.
right, but-
Yeah, no, that's a good one, right, do we wanna continue with, we'll only fund one time, and if it changes, I guess that's the question. Right, so, okay, for instance, Pat, you're here, not to pick on you, if we fund the parade 1 year.
Sure.
Will we fund it the next year?
Sure.
And actually, that's gonna come up tonight, so.
Well, the intention of that discussion and that added piece was because, not to become a county center again, but they were the one who kept coming with more money for the movies out back, right? So, I think that to try and spread to more people and more programming, the intention of not funding the same event over and over.
There was the caveat that if the event had significantly changed from one year to
Right.
the next year, that we would consider it.
Right.
So, I think that's still,
But you also, tough one.
it is, yeah.
Why lock yourself in, why not be discretionary from year to year? Why would you wanna just automatically?
And that was how it was written initially.
Yeah.
Your suggested language isn't bad though. Repeat events will be evaluated on a case-by-case basis with priority given to new events.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
That gives you out.
Right then?
What was that, Tim?
I like that language.
Thanks.
you know, the thing is, you don't wanna hinder an event such as
Right.
the holiday parade or Christmas parade, whatever anyone wants to call it, because it is a great event.
Mhm.
And, you know, but again, don't wanna keep, we wanna spread the wealth, if you will, to multiple events and more people, so I agree that we should review it on a case-by-case scenario.
Okay. Everybody good with that?
And again, maybe even think about including in there, the comedy center as an example, they came in for 100,000 the second time, and we cut it way down. So maybe it's not that we won't fund them, but fund them at a lesser value or a lower percentage,
Sure.
you know, that could also be taken into consideration.
Right, well, going back to case by case situation,
Yeah.
see what they've had in the past, what the other needs are at the time.
Yeah.
So, never say never,
Right.
however.
Sounds like a movie quote.
I don't watch movies a lot, so probably not.
Okay, so we'll keep it case by case, and then I can work in some language about, funding amounts will be at the discretion of the JLBC board.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll write that down.
I'm just thinking to the logic of what we cut the comedy center on the last one for and the logic behind it.
Yep. Some of this stuff, some of the other things that have been crossed out are because it will no longer be tied specifically to state approvals. We changed the deadline from having specific deadlines to being on a rolling basis until funds are expended. That is okay with everyone? Oh, I know, I did have a question on insurance, and this might just be me. And maybe since we've got Pat here, you can speak to this, and maybe I'm making it up in my mind. We have a $2 million requirement for insurance for events. Is that necessary, is that standard, is that, or is
Million.
a million
Yes.
more
It's a
standard?
million.
I thought 2 million was a little excessive, that's why I wanted to ask.
I bet
It's a million.
it was a
Okay.
state program, they were probably trying to protect the city and the state.
Perhaps, okay.
It's $1 million for
So do we
for
want
most
to change that
not-for-profit.
to $1 million?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then, we had limited project award, event awards to 3 per calendar year. 3 project awards can be made to any entity, organization, or venue in a calendar year when it is the venue, operational organization as the project applicant. It's confusing.
Yeah. What page are you on?
I'm sorry, 14.
Yeah.
Project event awards. In a calendar year. So I think the intention of that was like, the reg, for instance, can only apply for 3 events
That,
in a year.
the intention was, right, because you have organizations or, Pat as an example, he's doing 3 separate events, but 3 different organizations, or 4, whatever the case may be, or does multiple events, but he's
Right.
promoting different things, just because he's the promoter, or Pat would be the organizer,
Right.
it's not the same
It's a right.
event.
Yep.
And it's not held at the same place, and that's totally different than the or the comedy center hosting 3 events in their
In
own
their venue,
backyard.
yep.
Yes. So they're not the same.
But, let's say, 4 different entities could choose to use the reg.
Correct.
That's location,
Okay,
yes,
well,
yeah.
that's what I'm.
but the reg can
but
be the primary
they-
sponsor.
Okay, okay.
So maybe that's the language, is the primary sponsor is limited to 3 events per year at any particular event.
No, 'cause
No.
no.
Yeah, I think
Oh, yeah.
it's correct the way it is.
It's correct the way it is.
Yeah, it's just a matter of me understanding it.
No, or anybody for that matter, Vicky. But, I mean, to me, you have a promoter, and I'm gonna use him as that,
Yep.
or Randy as that. That's their job, they're
Right.
going to promote 4 separate events.
Yep.
No different than an organizer,
Right,
but they're not the same event that they're promoting or having.
right, and it's different.
Versus, the
Events and
comedy
different
center or the
things.
reg applying for a
Right.
comedy fest,
Right.
3 different movie nights, I'll use that as an
Okay,
example.
okay.
It's the same event over and over.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand the intention, I think I'll try to rework it so it just is a little bit clearer
Okay.
and understandable. Okay, and I'll send out the final draft for everybody to. Change a little bit of basic language and got rid of any references to the state. And I think that is it. Oh, funding, sustainability, I just changed that from, to fund for downtown programming applications will be received on a rolling basis until the fund is completed. Good? Okay?
Excellent.
Awesome. I did include, I didn't stick it on the agenda, but I did include just an update as to where we are currently. And then I added the 2 requests, so we've got 3 applications, one of which we've already accounted for. And then the other 2 I just added, in the light blue at the bottom. Right, moving on. Do we wanna start with Pat, since Pat is here? Pat, do you wanna come
Do
up?
I get to talk?
Yeah.
You guys been pointing at me.
Come on up.
Great.
We're all good at pointing at you, buddy.
That's okay, I'm just joking. And as far as insurance goes, just to where you touch on that, I did work with Jennifer last year, so if you were to have something different, the provider of whatever you're having is asked to go, for example, the fireworks were asked to come up with 5 days. So he did
So
that on
depending
his
on
end,
the
that wasn't
circle
on your
event
end,
or
yeah,
the-
that
okay.
was on their end, more or less, the city
Okay.
said.
I would assume fireworks,
Fire,
fire
yeah.
more.
It's a little more.
Yeah, exactly, the
But I
city.
can tell you for the World Series, we only have 1 million. The World Series,
Okay.
is a $1 million.
All the events in the city are 1 million.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that was probably a state,
Okay,
potentially state requirement.
that could be.
So thank you for having me, I appreciate it. My name is Patrick Smeraldo, with Collaborative Children's Solutions, in the city of Jamestown, a 501(c) non-profit. We collaborated with the city in December to run the holiday parade in December of 2021. It was a huge honor for us and a huge success. So we're back to talk about 7 days and nights of events. You have a proposal in front of you with a narrative that I'll highlight as I go through. Basically, the events, my company is about collaborating with current agencies, service providers, school districts, governmental agencies, to bolster things for children and bring the community together for the betterment of the kids. When we did the parade, it was, we just put it together as we went. So this proposal includes a lot more thought. It is raw because as restrictions lift, entertainment and things are becoming less available. So I mean, there may be adjustments made in certain things along the proposal. Just wanted to warn you for that. But there are, like I say, 7 days and nights. The first event occurring on Friday, June 24th. So children, that's the last day of school in pretty much all of Chautauqua County, and I teach in Jamestown as business adult. But that is the last day of school. I work with 45 agencies around Chautauqua County that desire a child audience at all times. We have a huge mental health problem in Jamestown, and not only in Jamestown, but Chautauqua County. The goal is to re-up an event I was part of and ran last year inside the ice arena later in the summer, a health and wellness fair for the kids, where we brought all of the agencies around, there were 31 in total, into the ice arena to offer their services that they have for the children. As you know, in Jamestown, summer is an idle time a lot for kids, and sometimes the programs that are around starve for children, if you can believe it, to get them involved in the program. So the goal, from noon to 4 at behind the Comedy Center Park in Pennsylvania Park, I believe is the name of it, in that area, is turn that into a carnival-like event for the kids with fun activities, petting zoos, other things I've worked with in the past, magicians, the guy I worked with in the reptile show, things like that, to draw the children in on the last day of school, and then to have not only the agencies that I work with there to sign the children up, but also school districts to sign them up for the LEAP program or the JUMP program that Jamestown Public Schools offers. J Soccer, anything that we can think of kid-related, the Y summer camp, anything child-related that we can get them involved in. To have, characters and things roll around, and just a carnival-like atmosphere from noon to 4. And that is an area that the city desires to promote. So the more people we can get down there, the better. That evening, we would do a game, we would work with the Tarps folks, who had a tremendous amount of success last year. I'd like to build on that, so they stay around for a little while. But we would host a game at the stadium with them, and with this proposal, there would be 4 nights of fireworks that would create a festival atmosphere in the city and draw people to us to build on the tourism concept that we have going. That would be night 1 of the fireworks, would be Friday the 24th. Rolling into Friday the 22nd and Saturday, July 23rd. Last year, I'm also with Toys for Tots. Last year, we collaborated with Tarps folks on a game. We would do that again, Christmas in July. We would celebrate Christmas in July on Friday evening, once again with fireworks. And then on Saturday, up through the city, vendors, we have talked and just been in discussion about bringing back the 3-on-3 basketball tournament downtown. Any event where children can participate, and then bring in sidewalk chalk and art and just gather all of the kid-like performers and attractions into the city so that they come down again and hit the businesses downtown and stay there. The goal would be to do something that evening. I believe we can turn Comedy Center Park into a Christmas village and decorate it as if it were Christmas in July. Blow up, lights and things like that. My goal would be to collaborate with the National Comedy Center on maybe a showing of Christmas Vacation or a family atmosphere, once again, to bring in another agency to collaborate with for the betterment of the kids. If not, then music or something in that venue down there on the waterfront behind there. Rolling into September 3rd, doing events downtown. I also work very closely with Keith Martin from the Northwest Ice Arena. I've rented his venue numerous times. We'd like to do an event in the city, downtown. I've had some experience working with different breweries and things like that to bring in tastings and bring people downtown with music and an event. The reason the ice arena, because of weather, I've also run into issues with weather, so we do need a facility just in case. The goal would be to be be able to be outside, close down the street, and enjoy the event on that corner between Second and Third on Lafayette, using the ice arena as a backup. And then Sunday, bringing back the traditional Labor Day festival at Berkeley Park. Once again, a day of music, fireworks that evening. And then in December, the 2nd and 3rd, on Friday, once again, the ice arena, Keith, has a hockey tournament that is already booked for the arena, 16-team high school hockey tournament, to partner with them, rent their upper ballroom, have a music event, whether it's, a combo of two musicians, what have you, a kickoff to the holiday weekend, as you will, maybe a basket raffle, something like that. And then on Saturday, I'd really like to expand the parade and have more time to do that, and I envision maybe the Comedy Center partaking and showing, childlike Christmas movies on their screens, maybe a double feature at the Reg with the Grinch and Charlie Brown before the parade. Now the families come out from the movies, and then the parade is started. We did a race last year, the Mistletoe Mile. Maybe move that up a little bit in the day to bring more people downtown to show their patronage at the restaurants and the shops downtown. Partner with whoever would like to partner. And then that evening, again, once again, doing on Saturday, the 3rd, the parade, which was, we did a survey at the end, was very well received. That was a Saturday evening. And then followed with fireworks off of the ramp. So that, I also, for the ask, I also plan to, this proposal is contingent on the fact that if you were to agree that I bring in an additional $15,000 of funding for a total of $53,335. So your agency would come in for 40, you would go out and access another $15,000 in funding and do it in collaboration with the city. We did with the parade, but times 7. Questions? I know you don't have any.
Well, we all know, obviously, the parade last year was a huge success. I think the community enjoyed it, and not only because it was a good parade, but because it brought activity back to downtown. That was sorely missed, and I think needed for a lot of reasons, so. It's a pretty big bite for you there.
It is,
Mr.
it is,
Smeraldo.
as Mr. Sheldon would say, this is an aggressive plan, Pat.
It is
That's what
very
it is.
aggressive.
I tell you, and I spoke with the mayor a couple weeks ago, and Crystal and Zach, and our agency has thrived off of this, because I don't need to make money doing this. I mean, we can put on these events for kids, and then take the funds that are raised through grants and things like that, or agency coming in, and then put on a Chris Herron who came here and spoke to the kids at Jamestown High School. That's the intent, is to feed the money back into the kids, and then see how we can draw and create opportunities for them. So with the things that we've built, like the parade, I mean, when I walked down 3rd Street last year during the parade, I'm like, man, I wish we'd have thought of doing this. Gosh, I wish we'd have done that. And now with the planning period in time, I did work with the businesses individually. I visited all the businesses on 3rd Street beforehand, and I tried, and I did, to have them sell something special that nobody else was selling. They were very appreciative of that. In fact, Crown Street, we tried to get, we didn't want anybody giving away hot chocolate. So listen, I'll help you give away something else if you'd like to give something out, but let him make his money. And I spoke with them after, and he said that was the best parade we ever had. It was the best night we ever had. He was glad he was open. So the same thing with Full Moon. Hector couldn't be open, I hoped that he would be this year. But I think that the more we can do downtown is beneficial to our city and to our businesses. Last year, you're here to see, I worked with Linnea and the market. I would love to involve the market with the kids and things like that. I did that before, where Farmers Table at the market. Parents thrive on having things in the summer. There's not a lot.
Well, that's the good thing about, I think, all of these is, yes, they're kid-driven, and obviously that's your goal as your company, but it also involves a lot of families and a lot of adult activities as
A
well.
lot of different
So
things.
it's a mix, and
Yeah.
I think that's good, because it's not just hearing to one type.
Right, and that's, I mean, I totally understand the conversation beforehand, and as you're saying those things, I'm making mental notes, and I think, yep, you're right, that we'd have to change that, or yep, we'd have to do that, I totally get that. And I think that as, I just posted something yesterday on a media page, kids come up with these ideas, and as we did the parade, they said, well, what if we do this, or we could do this, or we could do a glow run, or we could, yeah, let's do it, you know, so I mean, as we as adults do these things, the kids topple up on top of it. I have a huge desire to work with the Tarp Skunks. I have tremendous respect for what they were able to do last year, and with the National Comedy Center. I think it's a natural fit. When I add it, I'll be honest with you, I'm 54 years old. I didn't know that the property behind Evans and the Comedy Center existed, and it was so beautiful. Dan Stone took me down there after the parade, and between that and the Prairie Point, a lot of potential, a ton of potential. And like I told Dan, I said, I envision a Christmas village that we could do this. So.
We certainly appreciated Pat, and when he came back in to chat with some of the folks at the city, I asked if he'd been recently evaluated by mental health. So,
My wife's put me in for that. She signed me up for that.
I can't believe you want to
I've
do
known
this
him far
again.
too long, I think we've been in there together.
You're way past your prime on that one, Mr. Mayor.
And add like 6 things.
Yeah.
We certainly appreciate all the work you've been doing and stepping up and helping the community and identifying a need for kids, families, and many others in the community to have activities that they can get involved in. So we thank you very much for that.
Sure, I appreciate that.
The color run will be a success, that is a kid magnet.
Yeah, I mean, those.
I love to get those colors on there.
Well, and that's, I wouldn't have known that until I started participating in the market and things like that, just to see those things.
It's a huge success.
And how those, with the kids glom to those. But that's basically the plan. I don't know the procedure. I feel very confident in obtaining additional funding. But right now, I'm just a guy.
I don't think you'll have any problem with that.
Yeah, I'm just a guy with a plan.
I'll just say, we'll work with Pat as you continue to put all of your plans together and make sure that the funds that are being spent are spent in the area designated.
Absolutely.
So I just wanna make that note, and so that everybody knows that, like, there's some things listed, we know maybe in or out of the area, we'll make sure that everything that's spent is within that designated area.
And the only other thing is that, I know you mentioned, beer tasting. None of these funds can go towards.
Right,
No, ma'am.
towards the beer and stuff, yeah.
Yes.
So we've already, what we've done is too, with the, kind of had handshake agreements with some things.
Right.
About, hey, listen, you're not gonna be a part of this, you're gonna be on this end of this.
Yes.
Once I have the meeting, I'll be able to confirm all those things. So, but that, yeah, absolutely, I totally agree with you, 1000%. That's why, when I say raw,
Yep.
that's why it's raw.
No, exactly,
Yeah.
I know you know that. We ran into that with another.
No,
proposal
absolutely,
in the
no, I
past,
wouldn't think
yeah.
of that, nope.
And I think with this, right, as raw as it is, it's usually a bit more refined when we submit it. But because Pat's trying to get an early jump on it and get the promotional material put together as soon as possible, which we all know makes the events successful, is being able to advertise them well enough in advance. I think that's really the reason that we kind of rushed to get this in.
No, I get it, you're
So-
gonna have tweaks and
Yeah.
stuff, but it is critical to have what you have on this list to get these information out there.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, as things open up and people are more, open to booking themselves this summer, we're gonna run into a big, huge competition, everybody fighting for the same thing, so.
And that's what we're seeing now. I do have a scheduled meeting with the county executive on Monday the 28th to partner with the city, partner with us. Hey, like, look, this is what they've committed to. These are 7 nights, this festival atmosphere. We're bringing people to Chicago County. Yep.
It's like
So-
it's in there, potentially.
Yeah, absolutely, I mean, that's what I mean, this is and that's what we do, and the mayor has helped me a bunch with projects of just non-financial, just with kids, and it's a county-driven mode, we're too small, Mr. Mayor, how many times have I said that?
Said that.
We're a lot, we're too small. Work together.
I will note just for this board, Pat has been working with the city and the various departments, in order to, review and
Yep.
assess each of these projects. I know you've already spoken to the public safety committee,
Yep.
as well, for the city council, and others. So there's definitely working with Pat to ensure that each program is in compliance with, what's required by the city.
And just to touch on that, thank you for saying that, for the finance portion of this, so last year with the parade, when we came in last minute, JPD just put their guys on and their female officers that day. What I've told Tim is, Chief Jackson has quoted me the rate for the JPD. So for example, on the evening of the Christmas in July event, the city will not incur any more costs. That will come out of CCS. We've made the agreement that they usually, whatever they did for the Labor Day parade or the Labor Day event before, that's what they'll do, and whatever they did for the parade before, that's what they'll do. So anything in addition, along with, there's certain safety coverage that you have to have for fireworks that is paid to the Jamestown Fire Department, CCS will also pay that. So the actual incurred cost to the city is the two events, just the daytimes. There won't be any more costs, and Dan and I have also from Parks and Works, and he said the more that you do during the day, obviously the little cost there is. I've already quoted, you can see in their restroom facilities, and all sorts of stuff that you have to do when we did the parade. I didn't think it was possible, but we did. So yeah, but it's aggressive, but I think we're gonna knock it out of the park.
Great. Any other questions, comments?
Okay, go.
Yeah. Do I, so,
We'll take a vote.
Yeah, we're good. Thank
Okay.
you. Pat, we appreciate it.
appreciate you.
Reorient our Zoom folks. There we go. Before we dive into the rest of these, is there any discussion of the other items you want to talk about? The BPU, climate technology, and the meetings?
Yeah, do we wanna do that now
Let's
before we?
discuss them all. and then we just
Okay.
vote. That's
Sure,
easier.
yep, okay.
So only one vote on them.
What's that?
One vote.
No, you have to vote on it.
We have to vote separately,
Yeah, they'll
but
be,
we just discuss them.
yeah. BPU, we'll just do that one quick, because I think we've been talking about it for quite a long time, knowing that it was coming.
We do have some new members, so if you could just give a brief overview.
Oh, yes, yeah, of course. And Jeff. So the Board of Public Utilities submitted this application. This is part of a NYSERDA grant that they received. And so, back in 2018, I think, was when we submitted the NYSERDA grant application. Part of the matching requirement, we had committed to anticipating being able to contribute $50,000 in Fund for Downtown Programming funds. So what the intention of that is to hold a 2-day climate technology conference in downtown. Still working through all of the very specific details, but it will be a 2-day event. We did hire a marketing consultant, or what do you wanna call her? They're, basically they're gonna help us design the conference and, an event planner, yeah, that's the word. An event planner. So, working through that, working through the sessions and lining up keynote speakers and all of that sort of thing. But we do have the dates nailed down, the 18th and 19th of October. We're looking at, Chris Selstrom submitted this, he put 300 plus, for a number of people. We're thinking we may be able to get closer to 400, but it wouldn't be really more than that. I think that would be about the max that we could probably handle with the venues that we're looking at. So, there will be some things, I think, that will happen at, we're really looking at Northwest Arena as being probably the primary, event space. And then there will be some things that will likely happen at the, DoubleTree. And then, of course, we'll look at doing some ancillary sort of events. So we're making sure that businesses all around downtown are being patroned. So, you know, again, details, very specific details are still being worked out, but, along the same lines of needing to start being able to get the word out and put together some advertising, we need to get this kind of moving, sooner than later.
I have no issue with the whole concept. The only thing I wanna ask and make sure we get clarified from the lawyers, because they're a city entity and it's a city grant fund, are we okay? Like, that would be my only concern,
Okay, we can certainly have Ben look into it.
just to make
Get a
sure
response.
Yeah.
before you do anything.
Okay.
I mean, if the BPU wasn't owned by the city, then I wouldn't have an
Right.
issue, but because they are,
Yeah, how do we do that?
Could you create a pass-through somewhere?
you could potentially pass it through like a community
CSCF,
foundation or
Yeah.
something, but it may get a little tricky.
Yeah.
We'll make sure we
The
figure it out.
intention was for it to be part of the match.
I certainly
yeah.
get it, but it,
That would be my inclination, is that since we do have a required match, it would free things up, but I'll put a
But there-
memorandum of some sort together.
But it
and
is
get
a
all
grant.
yeah, but
Going towards a
it's
grant,
grant,
yeah.
it's a grant going towards a grant to two city agencies, so.
Yeah. Okay. So
Little-
figuring out what the legal mechanism is that we need to be able to do that.
I have no issue with the program, I have no issue with the concept, but
Okay. So maybe if you vote, it's contingent on
Contingent
what that
on-
is.
contingent on the legality
Yeah,
of it.
contingent on, approval
Legal
by
opinion.
corporation council, like we do with a lot of things,
Okay.
city council.
That's too foreign.
No, it's actually not to form, but.
Okay.
Not to form,
Not to
but.
form, it's actually contingent on.
To legality.
Council opinion.
People leave the stuff to the experts.
That's my only concern, just because it's,
Okay.
Any questions on that one? Right.
Okay, and then the last one, this is, a request from Doug Sittler. This goes back to, so the 10,000 Maniacs concert, is going to be in May. If you'll recall, pre-COVID, and for those of you who are new to us, this event had been planned and approved, and then it had to be canceled because of pandemic. So when he resubmitted everything after, and we had to kind of re-envision the event and how it was gonna take place, ended up splitting it into two events. He, by mistake, did not include, I think it was a sound
Sound
and
and
lights.
lighting.
Yeah. And so he had reached out the other day, kind of in a panic, and asked if we would reconsider the dollar amount, add that back in, because he has to have sound and lights in order to have a concert. So, I don't know if anyone has questions and there's discussion.
so we've already approved, what was the amount already approved?
We approved 25,000.
He's looking for 6,000 more, is that correct?
Yeah. I just couldn't remember what we already.
Yeah. And we did approve, I think, less than what he had originally asked for. So I think, you know, even though it's kind of his error, 6,000 I think would be kind of a big deal. So this one is, I think, the original sheet that he had submitted, and then this one is his personal worksheet that he had done, and that's how he kind of found the error, and was like, ah.
Okay, any questions on that? Okay. Any other, fun for downtown programming proposals?
That's it
Okay.
for now.
Everyone feel comfortable moving to vote? All right, we'll start with the BPU Climate Technology Conference. I believe there was a request that is contingent on, legal counsel opinion. motion? So moved, on second? Second, any questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, that is passed contingent on the opinion of legal counsel as to whether that can move forward, given by one city agency to another. The next one is the Collaborative Children's Solutions series of events. Crystal, can you confirm the amount on that?
Oh,
You had
yes.
30 and 1
I wanna
in
clear, yeah, and Pat, if you can clarify that. I think we initially, when we had talked, it was 30, and then, we talked about some of the additional expenses and bumped it up. So it is my mistake on this sheet that I gave you all, add 10,000 to it. The grant request is for 40.
I don't know if it's one. So moved.
Okay, so move, second? Second. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right, that's for 40,000. And we have a revision to the 10,000 Maniacs Sittler HQ original proposal, which adds an additional $6,000. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
So move, second? Second. Questions or concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? All right. Any other new business? Other business to come before this board? We do have one item for an executive session, which is a potential litigation. We'll ask our legal counsel stay, if possible, as well as Stephanie and Crystal. I don't know if you, John?
Nope.
Up there if you want to.
Well, yeah, why don't you stick around?
Okay.
Am I allowed to ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted, so I've been asked to be the, fundraising coordinator for the midget football league. And so would they be, they're a nonprofit, so just learning from this conversation, so if they wanted to do a fundraiser, and it was in downtown, they could come to the JLDC and ask for funding.
They could, they could apply for the Fund for Downtown program.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm glad I came because I'm going to the meeting at 7 o'clock, and I'm trying to, they need new equipment. Like, they have no football pads, they have no, and they've ordered all this stuff, and they don't have any money to pay for it. So I've reached out to credit unions like to give money to midget football, or kids, period. And so I'm sitting here listening, and I'm here with my friend, cause she wants to open up a business, and I wasn't sure. So we talked to Stephanie a little bit before the meeting, but she's Hispanic, bilingual, and would like to open Herbalife. Herbalife, the two Herbalife places, one in the city of Jamestown, one in Falconer, both of the women are retiring. So there will be possibly no Herbalife. Well, I don't know if anybody knows about Herbalife, but it's very popular. And so she has been, talking and trying to collaborate a business plan, and we had to reach out to Stephanie, but we wanted to come and ask the question, and is this the right place to go? Where do we go? Is it better off going to a bank and asking for a business loan, or coming to you guys? She already,
Certainly continue with Stephanie, and I
Yeah.
think we've got some other additional business, but
Yeah.
certainly work with Stephanie. and
yeah,
Crystal.
yeah, I'm glad I came, because it really made me, learning of that about the midget football league.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
We have a motion to go into executive session. So,
Yeah.
Second. All those in favor?
Thank you, everyone.
Wait, who made the motion?
Thank you, Pat, we appreciate it, thank you.
Tony, and one second?
If anyone's got
Bring you
those
here
whistle
a little
blowers
bit
and stuff,
to my wife.
I can take them.
I'm done.
Oh,
Thank you.
Have a
Appreciate
good